Это XP на миду. Ну а из бывших фнатиков, если брать даже хотя бы последний сезон, то остались Фбивен и Реклс. Все остальные за это время уже успели поменяться, кроме их главного тренера, как вот сейчас нам показывают. Ну и посмотрим, как команды сыграют. Напомню, в прошлом сезоне Фнатики играли с Ориджинами в финале, где Ориджины уступили им в последней игре серии до 3 побед. Ну а у Ориджинов, как вы видите, на позиции тренера сейчас девушка. Это, не знаю, такой модный тренд, что ли, в данный момент. Так, погромче немного сделаю звук. Не знаю, тренд это или не тренд, но девушки в Лиге Легенд появляются все чаще и чаще. Взять, допустим, Рамилию из Североамериканской лиги, которая играла с Алексичем и которая пробилась через челленджер серию в профессиональную лигу. Правда, она недолго там проиграла и... Причем в буквальном смысле проиграла. То есть у Ренегейт сейчас там буквально парочка побед за полгода. Что, конечно же, не может же не печалить. Ну и Алексич, кстати, ушел из Ренегейт. И последний раз я его заметил играющего за команду TDK, которая сражалась в челленджер серии в финале уже. Ну и там они благополучно проиграли, но, насколько я знаю, по правилам все-таки две команды из челленджер серии выходят в профессиональную лигу. Ну и что еще стоит упомянуть, это то, что XP вернулся в команду. Он больше ушел на организаторскую роль. То есть он создал с нуля полностью свою команду, которую он хотел, с блэкджеками, всем, чем причитается. И эта команда великолепно сыграла свой первый сезон. Этот сезон у них как-то идет нестабильно очень. И как-то, не знаю, возможно это связано с тем, что на позиции мидлейнера у них играет Power of Evil из команды Unicorns of Love, который перешел. И как-то команда не очень с ними играет. И вот XP буквально считанные игры назад вернулся в команду на позицию мидлейнера, начал играть. И если я не ошибаюсь, все игры с XP команда Origin выиграла. Поэтому посмотрим, сможет нет XP закерить и эту игру. Причем керить можно не только киллами, но можно и шотколлингом. То есть когда команда что берет, что делает, куда движется, и это круто. То есть этим тоже можно игру вполне себе тащить. Вот такие мелочи, как бэкдоры и тому подобное, они играют очень большую роль в определенные моменты. Конечно, не постоянно бэкдорить команду соперников, но все-таки что-то можно делать. Ну, составы команд вы видите. Корки очень часто сейчас берется на мид, потому что у него просто какой-то нереальный зашкаливающий урон. Причем против Лебланки это очень и очень неплохой пик, потому что Лебланка все-таки прокастер, соответственно, если она не смогла убить Корки за прокаст, то Корки вломит ничуть не меньше. Потому что бёрстовый урон у Корки ну, просто зашкаливающий какой-то, особенно когда он соберет тринку. Ну, это он превращается просто мгновенно в чудовище. Хотя он и без этого превращается в чудовище. Поэтому Корки такой очень контестящийся пик, хоть его и в последних патчах немножко нерфили, но это особо не повлияло на ситуацию. Ну и также стоит из интересных пиков отметить, конечно, Израиля, потому что это тоже чудовище в текущей мете, просто нереальнейшее. Особенно когда он соберет свой синий билд, это довольно страшное создание. То есть он кайтить может просто безгранично, и когда он получит все свои 3 кора, с которыми он сможет дамажить просто безгранично. То есть это, конечно же, перчатка, это Мурамана и Боторг. С этими 3 предметами он наносит чудовищный урон команде соперника и может бесконечно их кайтить. То есть к нему не подойти, он постоянно замедляет. И посмотрим. И нет, все-таки выбивает просто флэш из Фабивена. Посмотрите, икспеки. Ну, теоретически у него была возможность убить, конечно, Корки. То есть он попал печатью. И у него тем более был игнайт. То есть попади он еще одним скиллом кинь игнайт и 100% килл. Но команда играет довольно аккуратно. И не уверен еще XP, что он смог бы все сделать корректно, то есть вовремя флешнуться, вовремя отфлешиться обратно. Ну, точнее, скачком. Поэтому он решил играть сейфово, выбили просто из Корки флеш, и в ближайшее время будет возможность зайти на ганк еще раз Амейзингу. Тем более на Неделе, и там урон будет чудовищный, конечно, по Корке, и он не переживет. С другой стороны, у Корки есть встроенный эскейп на Валькирии, поэтому он спокойненько может сбежать, если он до этого не использует его. Ну, обычно один раз его все-таки максят, и смотрите, несмотря на то, что был ганк на Фабивена, он по крипам практически наравне с Xpeki, ну, у Xpeki чуть пораньше 6-й левел будет. С другой стороны, Корки какого-то мгновенного урона его ульта не добавит, поэтому особо страшного-то ничего нету. Это скорее для Хараса. И смотрите, какой урон Корки просто вносит по Лебланке. Потому что Лебланка выдала прокаст, и вот как делают обычно на лоу-левеле, получается, что когда там, не знаю, Лебланка или Касадин влетают в вас, игрок начинает, ну, как это сказать, паниковать, наверное. То есть и бежит, вообще не отвечая. Что Касадин, что Лебланка, это прокастеры. То есть они дали прокаст, и что? И все, они стоят. Они не могут ничего вам сделать. Соответственно, в это время надо успевать отвечать, что Корки, как АДшник, тем более, может очень-очень хорошо делать Лебланки. Ну, до тех пор, конечно, пока она его не ваншотает. У Корки есть возможность отвечать. Если он выжил, Лебланку он может покарать ее очень и очень нехило. И ну, ничего не будет еще первого килла все-таки. Вот она, Валькирия, которая благополучно спасла Фабивена. И довольно шустро команды перемещаются. Посмотрите, вообще влияние саппортов продолжается. То есть роумящие саппорты очень и очень в цене. Мифи, смотрите, по всей карте уже успел сбегать. Но Xpeki продолжает доминировать на своем лайне. То есть он взял эликсирчик, который теперь, можно сказать, заменяет Межай. То есть он вполне себе уверен, что он сможет. Ну а против Корки команды главная стратегия вообще команд это попробовать как можно больше получить на раннем этапе. В начальной стадии игры и в середине, пока Израиль собирает еще свои коры, пока он не набрал силу и не может вас там издалека харасить, а вы ему ничего не можете сделать. Что некоторые команды, кстати, уже и показывали, как необходимо идеально просто играть против Израиля. То есть не затягивать в лейт. С другой стороны, если посмотреть на команду Фнатиков, в лейте, ну, что они могут противопоставить Ориджинам? То есть это очень и очень затанкованная Поппи, которая притом наносит кучу урона. Смотрите, идет телепорт, сейчас возможно что-то будет, и отфлешивается Мэй, и сейчас кого-то зафокусят. Правда, определяется пока кого, все-таки выживает Браум, и посмотрим. Все-таки ничего не будет, и Фэбивен как-то самонадеянно довольно-таки оказался. Посмотрим, выживет нет Xpeki, и ФБ уходит все-таки не дали. Все-таки в этот раз не дали. Так, ну и Гамсу пошел отпушить на боте лайн. Ну, конечно, вышки это не угрожало особо, но крипов они не потеряли. То есть Поппи продолжает лидировать по крипам, и уже с этой стороны она лидирует, потому что у Трандла все-таки не оказалось даже ассиста в этом тимфайте. Умения, не наносящие контроль, ну, урон как-то не в цене нынче. Ну, и вот в чем. Звена отправили в полет все-таки. Потерял он весь тимфайт. В итоге тимфайт был все-таки 4 на 4. Он еле-еле подтянулся. Однако, насколько я вижу, все-таки он успел получить ассист. Ну и очень часто команды стали брать Барда, что довольно интересно, потому что Бард очень сквишовый персонаж, плюс контроль у него очень и очень зависит от рук. Так, и ждал Сос, когда все-таки Рекл сделает сдвиг, уйдет в сторону, и чтобы поставить глыбу, но все-таки подальше он ушел. Ну а по сравнению с Израилем, конечно же, у Люциана гигантское преимущество, особенно за свой счет своей пассивки. То есть мало того, что он наращивает себе урон, в то время, когда Израиль стакает каплю, так еще у него и пассивка, которая вторую автоатаку наносит. Ну и смотрите, как уже прохорашивает Лебланка Корки. используя как раз те моменты, когда Корки фармит. То есть он идет на добивание крипа и в итоге получает по лицу за это. Но опять-таки у него есть эликсирчик, и ничего особо такого сверхъестественного не случилось. Вот спокойненько сейчас отхилится. По фарму, ну, десятка не так много. Естественно, по левелу Лебланка лидирует, но пока она его ваншотнуть не может, поэтому все упирается в фарм и такой мелкий харас друг друга. Тем более Лебланка сейчас уйдет, потому что у нее маны нету. Ну и закупиться уже надо. Какой-то спам сыплется. Так, куда-то увели крипов совсем далеко. Причем сейчас в связи с ослаблением Геральда бездны его все чаще и чаще команды берут. Особенно во время осады он довольно заметно помогает. Благодаря усилению миньонов. И приходится отфлешиваться Брауму, но он не выживет. Тут 100% сейчас будет стан, и все-таки убили. Пришел Соос, но как-то он неудачно совсем пришел. И великолепнейшая ульта от Барда. О чем я и говорил, то есть требует очень и очень прямых рук. Ну а Лебланка в это время заняла корки, и он не поучаствовал в убийстве. Причем, смотрите, он второй частью собирает Хирекс. То есть все-таки магрезист ему более важен в данной ситуации, потому что сейчас этап фарма. И Люциан, смотрите, полностью всю ульту разрядил. Ты просто чудом, благодаря великолепнейшей ульте, выживает. Мифи не перестает просто радовать. И, кстати, между делом очень надеялся, что у меня получится постримить Intel Extreme Masters готовится. Турнир, который проходил в Польше и на который приглашались топовые команды. Правда, топовые команды скорее не этого сезона, а прошлого. Точнее, даже не сезона, а сплита. Потому что там оказались и СК Телеком, которые в этом году как-то играют не очень хорошо. То есть буквально сегодня они Роксам проиграли 2 матча подряд. Ну, то есть у китайцев, если кто не в курсе, вместо одной игры всегда идет серия до 2 побед. То есть они best of 3 играют. И это прикольно. С другой стороны, у европейцев очень много команд в лиге. Поэтому они имеют возможность играть и поменьше игр, однако для зрителей все-таки по времени это даже получается дольше. Ну, корейцы в принципе, конечно, избранная раса в стане киберспорта. Не только лол, если брать, конечно же, любую другую кибердисциплину, где они выступают очень и очень хорошо. И в итоге на Intel Extreme Masters попали СК Телеком и Они благополучно подтвердили свой титул чемпионов мира и завоевали кубок. В этот раз, к счастью, обошлось без всяких кувырков и тому подобное от Фейкера. Ну, ничего плохого не хочу сказать. Чувак, конечно, нереально крутый, может себе позволить все что угодно, и упоротые фанаты будут тащиться. Но со стороны более-менее адекватных людей это довольно смешно смотрится. Все-таки возраст у игроков не самый большой. Так, ну и отдельно, пожалуй, стоит сказать о Солозе, который сейчас играет на Транле. Точнее, даже от Транле. Его все чаще и чаще берут команды. Мы его можем видеть чуть ли не в каждой игре, где есть танки. А танки есть в каждой игре. Поэтому довольно часто мы в последнее время видим Трандла. Конечно, очень классная у него ульта. То есть он забирает броню у соперников. И против танков это очень хорошо работает. То есть он может себе собирать гидру. Плюс обычно стандартный билд. Это, конечно же, перчатка. Он хоть и не поппи, не может кидаться, конечно, своими скиллами. Однако периодическое замедление, плюс мана, плюс броня, в общем, очень хороший предмет. И ледяное сердце мы, конечно же, очень и очень редко видим в последнее время. Просто потому что, ну, меньше оно профита дает. Ну да, режет скорость атаки. Как бы АДК, который ориентируется на скорость атаки, мы практически не видим. Изредка мы видим там Вейн, и то где-нибудь у корейцев, китайцев. То и почти в каждой игре мы там на АДК видим Люциана и Израиля. Просто какое-то дикое разнообразие, конечно же, что не может не печалить. Ну, а Израиль в этот момент сейчас на середине пути от того, чтобы получить перчатку, и начнутся проблемы у команды Origen. Как-то они не особо активно. Так, и смотрим, попадет, нет, копье все-таки промазывает, и как-то... Но Гамсу спокоен, потому что рядом тут же трется Лисин, если что, он поможет и выпнет кого-нибудь. Не дали потихонечку. Забирает голду Лисина. Ну, 10 крипов в лесу, ну, в принципе, не так много. С другой стороны, смотрите, у Недели уже есть килл и ассист. То есть, несмотря на то время, что она потратила на ганки, она уже ни раз и ни два заходила на ганк, она все равно опережает Лисина еще и в показателе фарма. То есть это великолепный просто показатель. Ну а Лисин не может себя пока показать, к сожалению, для фнатиков. И это довольно печально, потому что Лисин это персонаж, который очень плохо скейлится в лейт. То есть если Лебланка там в лет очень хорошо скейлится, очень хорошо Люциан, потому что чем дальше, тем они больше урона набирают. То есть Бланка вполне может ваншотнуть там любого, кто не затанкованный, у кого мало магрезиста. То есть вообще без проблем она может ваншотнуть. Люциан за счет своей пассивки точно так же. То есть он наращивает урон, и у него он еще и увеличивается. Ну а Xpeki все-таки забирает соло-килл. Все-таки не зря он роумит. Это, конечно, в урон фарму, но не так критично. То есть у него тоже точно так же килл и ассист, как у Недели. И классно он, конечно, цепью попал. Ну и потратил флеш на убийство Xpeki. Для Лебланки это прям совсем не критично. То есть в случае чего у нее есть скачок, есть ульта, которая может продублировать этот прыжок. Ну и остался один кор для Реклза, соответственно. Уже сейчас он, в принципе, наносит неплохой урон и постоянное замедление. То есть это очень противный такой персонаж. Уже на данный момент. Ну и магрезиста не так много в команде Фнатиков, поэтому у Amazing и Xpeki просто все шансы для того, чтобы уничтожать. То есть им прям, ну, для Ориджинов я бы сейчас искал возможности для тимфайта, потому что у них преимущество на 5 с лишним тысяч по голде, то есть им это необходимо реализовывать, а не давать возможность Израилю там получить следующие коры спокойно. То есть на фарме на одном и особо не производя каких-то активных телодвижений. Xpeki, конечно, сплит пушит и вышку все-таки он сносит, и там идет телепорт. Посмотрим, что получится. У Звена проблемы, однако просто Поппи оказывает гигантскую услугу Люциану, подкинув его ультой, потому что он становится нон-таргет, и ульта у Израиля просто проходит сквозь него. Кстати, Трандл почти закончил третий кор. Посмотрим. О, и... Нет, все-таки очередной флеш из команды Фнатиков. Сейчас все-таки умрет. Должен умирать Браун. Что он, собственно, и делает. Так, смотрим, выпинывает бедного Люциана. Все-таки его домучили. И вот она противность Израиля. От него особо не уйдешь. Плюс на середине пути находится Поппи от перчатки, и она тоже начнет замедлять, поэтому, ввязавшись в тимфайт, у Ориджинов будет одна возможность уничтожать соперников, потому что если они не смогут их убить, Израиль просто покарает их. Здесь уже куча флешей, конечно, но Люциан потратил, по-моему, перед этим. Так, и посмотрим, умрет, нет. Фебивен все-таки умирает. И килл уходит Xpeki. Смотрите, получил он прокаст и дерется, потому что у него есть возможность. Обычно игроки забывают драться. То есть они, ну все, я умираю, и продолжают бежать. Ну нет, ты попробуй внести как можно больше урона, потому что чуть позже это может пригодиться твоей команде. Но преимущество уже 7000. Все оно продолжает увеличиваться. Но все внешние вышки, ну кроме медовой, снесены. Поэтому во многом благодаря вышкам такое преимущество. Ну и естественно киллы. Нет, ничего не будет. Ну нет, ну им необходимо все-таки что-то делать, потому что они сейчас довольно бесполезно ходят по карте, то есть пробовать рашить дракона. Потому что обычные танцы начались, и это довольно скучно смотреть. Деритесь, деритесь, тряпки, ну что вы. Ну ладно, хотя бы дракона они все-таки берут, потому что Фнатики явно контестить его не будут. Но в это время XP развлекается, внося просто тонны урона в команду соперников. Кстати, у него великолепный килл по Participation 4. То есть только у Барда тоже 4. Остальные там довольствуются совсем чуть-чуть. Ну и пробуют Ориджины взять на Шора, но не будут они. Там поставили как раз вард. Фнатики не настолько наивная команда, чтобы дать так занашорить просто for free. И Мифи в очередной раз выдает. И умрет. Умрет Спирит. Смотрим, что из этого получится. Но нет, на этом, наверное, остановится, пока XP не подойдет. Так, ну и минус лесник. Теоретически, но нет. Все-таки они, наверное, не рискнут. Потому что не так много у них хп и есть возможность для паука у команды Фнатиков. Нет, все-таки они рискуют, и это довольно опасно. Все-таки Гамсу забрали. Ну, хотя бы так. Ну, килл на килл. Умрет еще и Фабивен, и... Ну, то есть, Ориджины сознательно вполне себе провоцировали Фнатиков для того, чтобы начать тимфайт и взять как можно больше. То есть, они не планировали даже брать на Шора, потому что Фнатикам придется на это по-любому реагировать. У них возможностей других нету. Потому что дать еще и на Шора, ну это вообще опасно. Поэтому они вынуждены были принять тимфайт, но как-то они довольно неуклюже это сделали, я бы сказал. Вот так. Потому что есть возможность для Паука у Израиля, есть у Корки. Вот зачем? И они начинают зачем-то в лед. Вот зачем? Можно было вполне... Вполне можно было попробовать захарасить их. То есть даже если бы Ориджины взяли на Шора, то у них были все шансы умереть там же. Что намного лучше, чем дать команде Origen кучу киллов и еще и на Шора до кучи. А нет, все-таки на Шора они не тронули. не взяли. То есть довольствовались все-таки киллами и ингибитором. С другой стороны, это на средней линии не так страшно, потому что самая короткая линия, если что, ее и отпушить проще всего. И все-таки пробуют. Так, просветил Израиль. Есть. Все-таки взяли и забирают XP-ки. Довольно опасная ситуация была, что Лебланка забирают на Шора. Теоретически были все шансы у Фнатиков забрать его. Но преимущество на данный момент 12,5 тысяч достигает. Это вообще капец какой-то. Фнатикам вообще ничего не светит в данной ситуации, потому что потому что ничего не светит. В данной ситуации у Оригинов я бы сказал, что намного лучше пик. То есть уже на стадии пика понятнее, какая команда посильнее. Смотрите, вся команда просто убивает Сооза впятером. И они его убивали столько времени. Ну это просто что-то страшное. То есть все свои 3 кора, необходимые для того, чтобы выживать как можно дольше, у Трандла есть итем на урон, поэтому это страшное создание на данный момент. Поэтому особо ничего удивительного нету в том, что его убивали столько времени, пока команда Ориджинов спокойненько сносила ингибитор. И судя по виду Спирита, они уже смирились со своим поражением. И остался последний, самый последний лайн. Если его Ориджины снесут, а возможности не снести у них особо нету, тем более под нашором всей командой, ну сейчас есть, конечно, лишние пару секунд пожить, но опять же это буквально секунды, потому что 2 лайна запушены. Смотрим, а в это время... Нет, Трандл все-таки пришел с телепортом. И стан в Спирита. Это смерть. А Соус уже просто танкует, несмотря ни на что. И это финиш. Очень и очень быстрая игра. Я бы даже сказал изи. Так, сейчас посмотрим, здесь нет сегодня еще игры. Да, сегодня еще 2 игры осталось. Это аутсайдеры между собой сойдутся. Это Джанс Гейминг и Рокеты. Но Рокеты, по идее, должны победить. Кстати, это в этом сплите последняя неделя. То есть это последние игры у команд. И дальше, насколько я понимаю, будут уже кубок сплита. И есть у команд аутсайдеров все шансы на то, чтобы вылететь из профессиональной лиги. На данный момент это, по-моему... Нет, это естественно, скажем так, Джанс Гейминг. Потому что, ну, как-то они совсем расстраивают нынче. Была очень-очень хорошая команда, которая подавала, скажем так, надежды. Но в этом сезоне она как-то отвратительнейшим образом играет. Зато H2K они в топе. В топ-2. Так, сплайсы уже сегодня проиграли. И... Так, ну если Рокеты сейчас выигрывают, они делят 8-ю и 9-ю позицию со сплайсами. Если же выигрывает Джанс Гейминг, то для них это ничего не решает. То есть они в любом случае попадают на серию игр с челленджер командами. Ну и скорее всего все-таки Рокеты. Потому что Рокеты в случае победы они занимают 8-ю и 9-ю позицию. Там, я так понимаю, будет дополнительный матч между Сплайс и Рокетами с целью определить, кто же из них все-таки более аутсайдер. Ну а если все-таки Рокеты проигрывают, то им придется биться с челленджер командой. Или уже не помню. Там, по-моему, все-таки последняя команда автоматом вылетает. Первая команда автоматом заходит. Ладно, пока не будем гадать. Подождем. Так, пока можно послушать. Уже.
Oh, yeah, kind of. I was expecting maybe 5th place or something like this, and I thought, I mean, I didn't know how it was gonna be, but I knew when they said they wanted me to play because of the champs I play, I was like, shit, we're gonna lose against Fnatic now.
Is that how it went? Did the team say that they want to play with you?
Yeah, they just decide based on picks and who fits better against everything pretty much, and they were like, on blue side it's probably better to play with him because we are gonna blind pick mid anyway, so. But they ended up picking Corky, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, in the end.
I mean, it always should matter in game though, because you actually had a very good performance. Same for the man in the top lane with Tron Bull. Did you guys expect the IEM picks coming in for Fnatic, then just had the Tron Bull ready, and also the Poppy that Gamso's been playing like 4 games in a row almost now?
We actually expected the Poppy like if they would blind pick something, it would be Poppy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of knew about it. We were thinking they could maybe go Ramus or Trundle, maybe it's possible, right? But we thought that if they would blind pick something, they would go for the Poppy. So yeah. Really.
Do you feel overall Fnatic has a very predictable pick and ban phase?
Well, for top lane, kind of, because you don't like play so much, and they often play the same thing in solo queue that they will play the same week in LCS. So it's funny, but yeah. A bit, not too much, but certain positions, yes.
Saw a lot of focus on your lane where you had a gank from Bard. You had an AD carry gank, the infamous AD carry gank. You had a gank from Trundle. What was up with that?
Yeah, I didn't want to feed, you know? Gank my lane or get kicked. That's how it was.
If you show, you wanted to look at a couple of replays involving
yeah, I mean, we had something with your source, just overall with Gamzo as well. So top lane stuff in a lane swap. First thing we see is Source is greedy, gonna be a little bit greedy for waves, and he's gonna push out the top lane here. Do you remember the situation? Reckless and Clyde shows up top lane. The wave is gonna push against you. So Fnatic actually decides after pushing you off the wave to then recall with the AD carry and support and run them all the way down to the bottom lane. And you can see Gamzo on your minimap coming to top lane here. This play specifically, what do you think about that?
So basically, it's like as soon as they chunk me and I see them not hitting the wave, I knew that the top lane would come and get the bounce. But in the same time, as you can see on the minimap, their bot lane is missing a lot of farm at the turret. So they were still trading their AD farm for their top laner freeze. But it's not like I'm missing so much. Like I miss maybe one wave, and then I went to top lane and we got the Poppy flash with a gank from Bard. And I still like they didn't get the freeze, so I missed one wave for their bot lane missing like maybe two. So it's basically a trade that they're doing.
Yeah, and it's also very interesting with Fnatic later on in the game. They keep putting Gamzo in side lanes where he's not able to freeze the waves. So like he's slightly behind us as a top laner, and whenever there's a wave pushing out, they keep putting Gamzo in that lane. And you actually went down and killed him at some point.
The thing is, at first they tried to put him on bot to freeze the lane. But I could just, we took mid turret because of it.
Right.
Because I push him, I go mid, I push him, I go mid, and at some point Swas move as well, and we take turret. So then he realized it was not working, so he tried to push the wave, but then he died because he's like with full armor. I think that's some fire and one more armor item or something. So I just one-shot him almost.
But is this on the team then? Because what normally you would see was you would put AD carry, support jungle to push out the waves, and then get the deep vision in the jungle. They're pushing out like you guys were doing over and over and over. So you have always a deep vision. Do you think this is a team call? Or do you think maybe it's Gamzo saying, you know, I have to take this wave here? Or do you have any idea like what's going on?
I just think they didn't have so much pressure. Like Corky never went to side lane until he had package at level 13 or something. And Poppy cannot win against Trundle early on. And at some point Peke was beating her as well because he was 2 level up with like a lot of items. Because we helped him a lot early on. So both of their heroes couldn't really go side lane, so they didn't have much pressure. And I probably didn't get the division, but
Yeah.
they can still force it, but they just like didn't do it really.
And it just meant you guys could do almost whatever you wanted on the map over and over.
Yeah, and end up winning the game. Let's take a look at the bracket, the playoff bracket, because it's filled in. Because of this, you actually push Fnatic to the 6th place because of the head-to-head versus UOL. There it is. Oh, and there it was.
There it is.
So
Really
did you see
here we
it?
are.
What do you think? What do you
This is
think?
the playoff bracket right here.
Yes, good. Now, I'm sure it'll come up again in
Так,
one
сейчас
second.
нам
Okay.
показывают
There we go.
команду.
Obviously, Fnatic now ends up playing
Так.
Vitality, and you guys end up playing the Unicorns of Love. What do you think of that matchup as your first one in the playoffs?
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
A little more.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm obviously happy I play nice Unicorns. I don't know,
Так,
they seem to be
2-го,
really strong
3-го
against other teams. They always give problems to all the top teams, but against
числа
us it seems like
у нас будут
they
Best of
play
5 серии.
really bad both times. Like the
То есть
time that
Origen
Tristan was
встречается с
playing,
Unicorns of
they
Love.
did really bad draft, and against us as well, they were like a bit,
И
even though they
для
were
них
starting
это
the game
все-таки
well, they were a bit
лучше,
too late to
чем
play
встречаться
the
с
map,
Vitality,
really
которые
good, so
катком
I prefer
проходятся
to
по
face them
большинству
instead of Fnatic or
команд.
someone else.
Do you guys think maybe Unicorns, so you said you prefer to play them over Fnatic? Is this something where you guys just know exactly how they play? Or like, why are they playing so bad? There must be a specific reason. Like, you guys maybe figured them out and you just don't know it yet?
Maybe it's that, because it was both times against us that they seem to not play as good as against other teams. Like, when you see them playing against other teams, they seem to do smart things, have a good idea. Against us, it's just like they are playing, we can know what they're gonna do. It's really weird, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll see in the playoffs. I'd want to ask you who you think is going to play in the mid lane for most of those games, but I don't think I'm going to get a straight up
What?
answer.
I don't even know myself.
You don't even know
I
yourself.
don't think anyone knows.
So as
We're gonna decide later, I guess.
yeah, what are your feelings so as now with, of course, yesterday you had a great performance as well with Power. You were doing well, seemed to be in a good place. Playoff thoughts, playoff so as enabled.
She was
He was feeling.
We will see about that.
Okay. We will see about that. Well, in any case, congratulations. Fantastic 4th place for you guys.
Thank you.
Ну,
Alright, well, it's time for a quick break, but when we return, we'll look towards the
в общем, они обсуждали эту игру, перемещение, о том, где кто сколько волн крипов теряет, где можно
Someone's after you gave the death away yesterday, they were like, okay, so please, someone says the only death. Lol, guys.
Big package on in there. Exhaust is down instantaneously. Struck up. Origen looking for a second win. Everyone's getting bloody. And the first one goes to Origen. I can get the assist on that one. Spirit was making off. This man, he's down. Reckless with a pick up to answer it back. One. Reckless.
И довольно любопытно послушать, как и о чем рассуждают игроки. То есть они оценивают вплоть до крипов. И если они пойдут туда, сколько они крипов потеряют, пушит, не пушит соперник лайн, сколько вышек, когда они отошли вовремя, когда не вовремя, когда можно было отдать пару крипов там.
Everyone stand up at the same time and put your jacket on.
Okay. Move back to your shots, boys.
I will start, okay? And then you can follow.
Wait, why do you take off your earphones?
You don't need to take your earphone, you know.
I can't hear you. You don't need to stand up either, actually.
Really nice synergy, guys.
I'm actually caught them when I put my jacket on, but...
Of course, it's like
No,
everyone's
it's
gonna
okay.
know what the.
Так, надо пока выключить звук. А то опять начнут банить весь звук. Скажут, что я занимаюсь пиратством. Ну а пока ждем следующую игру.
expected it when they had 4 games to play left, and we're thinking, well, you know, it's kind of all said and done. They just need experience as a lineup, and then they change another player. I mean, what's next? Going into the promotion tournament, they change their mid laner? They change everything? I mean, how many changes have you got to make until things just aren't working and there are bigger problems than just the players that you're playing with?
Yeah, difficult questions indeed. Even more challenges for Giants is how do they overcome Roccat, who picked up a win against Vitality yesterday in really spectacular fashion. Picks and bans underway. Giants have removed the Rammus and the Lulu. Freddy looked really good, really comfortable on Rammus last week. Played Renekton yesterday.
Yeah.
Left something to be desired, is what I'll say.
I was not a fan of the Renekton. I actually just feel like Renekton in general is a pick that only offers you that 1v1 presence in lane. Apart from that, he's a little bit tanky, has some damage. We've been seeing a couple of different builds with him that allows him to curve that out, but I honestly don't really want to see the Renekton again from Freddy here.
Alright, we'll see what they decide to do. Red side, today's game. Yesterday was blue and is fairly low down the draft. Corki and Jin were the last 2 bans. Nidalee is already off the table, so that allows, or encourages maybe, a near insta-lock on that Gragas. Wisdom has played it before, has some experience, has a lot of impact, and denies that from Airwax. But Airwax can just fall back on a number of champions. Kindred is up and available, Elise, Lee Sin, etc. So a lot of comfort junglers, depending on what he wants to play.
Yeah, we even, out of Wisdom yesterday, saw the Sejuani come out. Wasn't amazingly impactful. But then again, that was the very clean game against Origen that Origen bagged for themselves. So for Roccat, though, they have a couple of picks that, you know, have been big picks for them just in general. Noxiac has that Alistar up. This is one of the very few games that Alistar has actually been available on the current meta.
Yes, definitely the case. And also important to note, Betsy could gain access to Azir. It was so important in taking down Vitality yesterday. Getting the damage, getting the picks onto Hyanin. And we'll need to see how Roccat handle themselves today. Sivir and Alistar, safe combo. Not really revealing anything, and it's a comfort pick for Noxiac too.
Yeah, not really revealing anything. And, you know, you spoke about the picks yesterday. Airwax with pretty much the game-winning pick on Hyanin. Won't have the Gragas today for that, but we'll see what he opts for from the jungle. Looking at it, Elise is available, should he want that. Maybe Elise in to come out for Airwax. Kind of expecting that kind of tier of jungler right now. We've kind of talked about the Jarvan, but I'm not actually expecting it now that we've seen a good 8 games played out with a lot of variance in the jungle. We haven't seen it yet.
Makes me a little sad. I was really hoping, because I know Jarvan was tearing up solo queue. At least in my elo it was. And it's always exciting to see that Cataclysm dunk. Alright, what are we missing then in terms of picks and bans? With the Trundle locked in for Smitty J, which is what we're expecting.
Yeah.
Poppy into it.
We just saw that matchup go Trundle's way with Soaz, but I feel like a lot of that was Gamsu and the rest of Fnatic just not really playing around that matchup. And they got Gamsu the lead, but then let Soaz get back into the game. It was good priority by Origen to do that. Trundle could also go support, but we are expecting it for Smitty J in the top lane.
Yeah.
He's shown us Fiora and a couple of other picks, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that. But the jungle matchup has been locked in here, and Airwax actually opting not for any kind of team fighting, opting for his second most picked champion of Kindred.
Yeah, 3 games played, all of them losses. I mean, when you got 13 losses, it's going to be a bad win-loss ratio, but you know, I don't mind it so much. When I think of Airwax as a jungler, I do feel that he's a relatively aggressive player. He tends to try to get in your opponent's face, and I quite like the Kindred into Gragas relatively early. If he manages to get some support, you've got a pushing lane with the Sivir, you've got Poppy that can do relatively well early on, especially against a Trundle, if they get standards.
The other thing here is that the Kindred isn't really the role that's going to be tanky right now in this game. They've got an Alistar, they've got a Poppy as well, so it's actually fine to go that route, get a little bit more damage now, and they've left that blind pick for mid lane now that we have seen what Giants are opting for.
And it is the Azir, so Pepe was one of the first players to play Azir back before it was cool. And Betsy played it yesterday now that it is cool to pick up a win. LeBlanc is available if he wanted to run something like that into it. But I don't really know.
Lissandra's up. I mean, Corki's not available for Betsy. If Betsy just picks something with some lane presence, I don't think Giants are going to get to the late game to actually have this Azir become active. And, you know, that's been the biggest problem for Giants, is how fast they've lost games. The last couple of times they've been on this stage. I like the Lissandra pickup here, if they do indeed go for it. Gives you the security against any Azir all-ins fairly early on. Gives you pick potential and the ability to play with a Sivir ultimate now. Sivir, Alistar, Lissandra, everything wants to go in. And this could be, you know, Roccat setting up for a fairly quick game.
The one thing I do like about Rocket's team composition is multiple damage threats. Lissandra, Sivir, Kindred, even Poppy to a certain extent. And then Giants, they're a little bit more committed to this Azir-Lucian combo with maybe Smitty J splitting off on a side lane. So I think there's options here. But I quite like... I like the skirmish possibilities that Roccat can put forward.
I do as well, Trev. They've kind of got one focus and it's going all in. And the Giants right now, this is a game that they have to play that could go quite well when it comes to their preparation, because when we look at challenger games, typically what teams run is compositions that want to run at you, get some kills, and look to roll over you. There's not a whole lot of macro play when you look at tower trading and you know, sidewave pushing in challenger. It doesn't happen as clean as we see it in the LCS, so if they can get a win against a composition like this, the Giants may have some hope in that series against Copenhagen Wolves.
Well, we'll have to see if they can play the map, because it's something they've not really been able to demonstrate. Over the last 2 weeks, they've lost all 3 of their games in an average of 23 minutes, which is an incredible time, and it just shows you how they're struggling, not only on a map perspective, but even from an individual player versus player, as they're being outclassed by the rest of the LCS. Will this be the final hurrah for Giants? Hashtag GIA win. Or will Roccat set us up for a tiebreaker with Splice? At the end of the day, that's what we've got to find out. Roccat, the favorites in this game. And thanks to Origen winning the previous game, it means we have a maximum of 2 games. Stress, that's all we can see.
Yeah, and unbelievably, by the way, there is one timeline of the 4 that remain that we have no tiebreakers.
25% chance?
That would be if Giants win and G2 win.
Alright,
Those
so that
would be
means
the
no
results.
tiebreakers?
Yes, so...
I don't think that's the one I'm voting for. 75% chance for tiebreakers, I'm down for that.
I mean, normally I would go into a game, and even like when you look at a team that has 2 wins, a team that has 4 wins, you'd think, well, okay, that's actually one that could go either way, right? For me, though, the biggest problem with Giants is we're 9 weeks in, and they don't have a style. They talked about it back in week 6, you know, we don't know what style we should be playing, we're running out of time. Well, sorry guys, time ran out, and you still haven't found it. You haven't found the meta, you haven't found your own play style that you want to play, and the problem is they've made so many changes right now that their style seems to be just try and patch things together and see if it holds, and unfortunately it just hasn't held for them at all.
The really interesting question will be whether or not all of the struggles and the adversity that the Giants organization has faced will be able to teach the players going into the promotion tournament, because that's where all the eyes will be. We'll talk about the impact of that in a moment or two as Noxiac and Tabs hold hands and waddle into Sunstar and Hustlin's lane. They interrupt the Grump. Nobody went for the Krugs either. So.
But Tabs gets the push, is the thing that comes from this, is Tabs is able to get to the lane first with Ricochet. They have Alistar, of course he can take the Relic stack, so already Roccat have about half a minion's health difference, which doesn't sound like all that much, but it does add up.
It does, especially in the race to level 2 when you've got Alistar.
Ooh, very interesting. Tabs is opted for the Bloodlust coming from the Runes of Masteries. I know a lot of the...
a few times this weekend.
We have seen it, especially on Sivir we've seen it a lot more, especially seeing it in Korea. LCK are playing a lot with it. I know a lot of the AD carries here in Europe are favouring Fervor just for the extra damage. I mean, we were speaking to Forgiven yesterday on the desk and he was like, man, why would you give up the damage that comes from Fervor? Like, that's like over 100 damage when we get there. Like, come on, give me that. I want to be able to get the kills rather than just stay alive. I trust in my mechanics a lot more.
I'm all about the critter share.
Yeah.
That's what I'm at. Sivir carried me through my placements, and I'm a big fan that she's back in the meta. Press R to win. It's a great mechanic, but talking about pressing buttons to win. Double teleport for Roccat. So they're going to be playing those side lanes. Have the option to do so as Airwax makes an enemy of the dragon. with a small dance of arrows. And, of course, Peppy running the flash cleanse. I don't think that's a major surprise into a Lissandra lane. But got to see how he impacts the lane because Airwax, he's already coming in for a little gank. Hop, a skip, a jump, wolf bites, and Peppy loses a lot of HP.
And all that stems from Airwax initially pushing into the jungle. Peppy kind of half panics and goes, okay, well, if I have to want to come across, I have to deny Betsy, so I need to shove that wave out. Airwax didn't actually get caught the first time. He just hopped over the wall, comes back for the repeat gank because Peppy, if he wants any of the farm that was in the wave in front of him, he had to push up for it. The fact that Peppy has to run cleanse here now punishes him because Betsy got the recall at the same time and got the farm from mid lane as well. He TP'd back to lane. He knows that wouldn't really have been utilized for the first cooldown time. Gets himself back with the lead.
Yeah, so well played. Small advantage in that lane matchup. I mean, Azir does need a little bit of time to scale up. Can push the wave. It's somewhat equalized by Lissandra's wave pushing power. Well, small pause.
Hopefully a small pause.
Yeah, that's true. I shouldn't actually say that without knowing, right?
Well,
the risk is great. We did catch a very brief glance of Smitty J into Fred. It's toe-to-toe lanes, even CS for now. But I want to see how that unfolds. Because I think I prefer Trundle when it comes to playing the map. I obviously prefer Poppy when it comes to team fighting. But in these two teams' hands, I actually think the roles are somewhat reversed. Because I think Smitty, with his team comp, maybe wants to team fight, and Freddy has been known for being alone in a lane for a long period of time. So it's quite interesting that like player and champion like role swap.
That's fairly true, but when you look at this composition from Roccat, man, if they catch somebody out of position with Sivir, Alistair, Lissandra, Kindred, Poppy, you can just say goodbye to them before they ever try and get themselves out of there alive. So Roccat are going to look for small numbers and see if they can group on multiple people. Just take them out. I actually don't think Roccat have a particularly bad team fighting composition themselves. Take into account Sivir damage in team fights. As long as she somewhat gets ahead. Gragas and Braum can be problematic for her later. Braum just kind of blocks everything and Gragas just stands there and takes it.
Yeah. I want to see how well Hustling can perform because yesterday left a lot to be desired. You can see Betsy on your screen at the moment. There is a graphical related bug in terms of Azir, which the guys are just busy looking into, restarting those clients and got the QA guys on stage. So we'll let you know how that resolves.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? That's what Betsy's thinking.
Oh, that's what Batman's thinking because in about a week and a half, he's going to be answering that question. Too meta, not meta enough?
Come on, that fight. Everybody on the internet has always had that debate, though. Don't watch the trailer. This is a PSA to anybody. If you are wanting to, have everything not spoiled in the movie, do not watch that trailer.
Yep.
I don't know why, but Hollywood has decided to put spoilers in trailers recently. It's annoying me. But there hasn't been too much of a spoiler in this game yet, when you look at it.
Standard
leads
lanes
for Roccat, though, in both mid and bot.
We're going to be in for an extended laning phase, which I don't mind seeing too much because you can get a better taste of player ability, mechanical, decision making. And just as an update, all of the players are just disconnecting and reconnecting to the game. Once they've all refreshed their game clients, we'll do a quick little pause on pause, make sure it's working, and hopefully get back into this one. Because we've already touched on sort of all of the importance of the game. Roccat, if they win, because of the fact that Splice lost earlier, will guarantee themselves a tiebreaker for that 8th, 9th seed. And it sort of gives them the power to control their destiny in seeding for promotion tournaments.
Yes, man, seeding is so critical right now. I know a lot of people will look at this and think, Giants and Roccat, well, Roccat should have that one, right? That should be a done deal. Giants are struggling, so I know that maybe it seems like a straightforward one, but obviously you've got to play the game out. Coming into this week, we looked at a lot of games and we're like, well, Vitality take this one, H2K take that game. These are easy wins. And yesterday, the world got turned upside down.
My quick picks got wrecked. Got absolutely wrecked. I made what I thought were safe predictions.
Safe?
I really thought what I made were safe predictions and how the standings were going to go. And I could not have been more surprised.
Just when you thought it was safe to go on the telestrator.
It's not worth it.
No.
Because then, you just sit there and I'm like, yeah, there's no ways that, Rockat's going to be Vitality. Nope. And they do. And you know, there's equal parts to this, right? Because Vitality made mistakes, but Roccat were able to punish.
Yeah.
Roccat were able to even with the Renekton, win team fights. And that was in large parts because of Betsy's Azir yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, game-winning play, I kind of have to look at Airwax, but you're all right. The Azir was a big, big part of it.
Yeah. Airwax manages to find the pick that secures the kill and wins the game. And we are back into the game as the reconnect seem to have resolved that graphical related issue. Custom blocks off that boomerang blade from Tabs, and we're going to back into this standard laning.
So, second game we're seeing from Hustlin, second game of Braum. Yesterday he was playing super far forward in the lane, trying to maybe look for a dive with the Giants, and honestly, that was what kind of ended up putting the game so far in Fnatic's favor. He got hooked in. That was kind of all she wrote on that one. I want to see more from Hustlin. He's a player that we haven't really seen too much from. Played on Giants underdoges, which is kind of the challenger team that the Giants have had, and they never made it really into Challenger Series. They had a showing in the qualifiers, but weren't really up to that level. And it's honestly something that I was looking at a team like Giants of, well, if you've got these two teams, why is there a situation where the players you're building aren't coming from your second team? And finally we're starting to see it, but it's so late on in the season.
Yeah. We'll have to see if it has any impact. Because unfortunately yesterday Origen looked in a completely different class.
They look the same as they look today.
Yes,
I would say.
I think that's very, very true. It's a different mid laner. But props to Peke for stepping in, listening to the team, apparently saying they wanted his picks. It's like, well, I'm not sure why, but he managed to make it work. Wisdom has snuck his way into this bush. The vision just out of range, so Roccat not going to see him. Body slam available, but the Winter's Bite does not find anybody.
Noxiac has pushed up. Wisdom's waiting for the time. Body Slam Flash would be available on Tabs. You probably can't spell shield it coming out of the bush.
This is so long. I can't get over this. This dash forward Sunstar manages to find the piercing line. Noxiac's in trouble. Exhaust flashes away. Summoner heal used as well. And after all that time, 3 summoner spells for 0.
That was, I mean, a lot used defensively from Roccat to stay alive there, but that was underwhelming from Wisdom. From as long as he spent down there. I mean, it's difficult to burst the spell shield first in this matchup. I mean, Hustlin would have had to have maybe looked to try and get that Q out early and then lead into a Body Slam Flash coming from Wisdom, but that was a rough one. Wisdom spent a lot of time down there. If they can capitalize now on those summoners being down, that will be the difference.
Yes, that's what I'm looking to see. Whether or not Giants are able to punish the lack of summoners. They do have Sunstar and Hustlin getting closer and closer to level 6.
Closer, but he's not there yet. Wisdom now is 6, so we'll have that ultimate available if that happens again. Smitty J is 6 with teleport, as is Freddy. So fairly standard game, standard lanes here as well. I mean, we haven't had a lane swap, and we've had about the same amount of action as you would expect in a lane swap. One attempted gank, one in the mid lane from Airwax as well, but these two teams are being very slow to begin this game.
Neither junglers got the ability, like maybe pre-6 to really want to fight. They both want access to their ultimates. They both want their items to start scaling up. Airwax has got 1 or 2 steps from his passive already.
You also look at it realistically, though. It's like, well, you've got a bottom lane with a Sivir. She's going to be able to kind of back away from everything with a
and
spell
Alistar.
shield. You got a mid lane with a Lissandra and an Azir, who both are able to get away from, you know, any unfortunate circumstances. And then top lane is just going to trade a little bit.
Top lane's a thing. Dude, I think we need to look at top lane. Thank you, observers. Smitty J and Freddy, they're farming 70 to 65. They've both recalled, come back to lane, teleports are up. Both got access to their ultis. But it's those two sort of super exciting tank battles that takes a long time to become impactful.
Yeah. I mean, I've not got too much there on the excitement factor for Poppy versus Trundle for a laning phase.
I've got an idea for a Trundle skin.
Okay.
But the only problem is it doesn't actually... It isn't going to be understood by so many people.
Okay.
I want them to make a cricket player Trundle. You know, like Shaun of the Dead style. You know, anybody who's seen Shaun of the Dead?
Yeah,
that cricket bat. I'll expand on my idea in a second because Airwax will find Wisdom. even though it's in Wisdom's jungle. Wisdom's looking for support. Sunstar and Hustling come up. Winter's Bite will dissuade Airwax. And to go back to the reason I talk about is South Africa lost to England in the T20 earlier today. It was real close.
I can be happy about this.
Yes.
I can be happy for once. I can be happy about England winning because the little known fact is the UK team is actually called the England team. So I'm happy that they beat South Africa.
You can't claim that just because you're Welsh.
No, I can. There are Welsh players probably in that team. I don't even know. Nobody in Wales cares about cricket enough. But what I do care about is this bottom lane gang. Here goes Civet.
All right, I'll stay on the game for now. Body slam onto Betsy, barrel under the tower. Betsy self-casts the tomb as Airwax looking for Wisdom. It's jungler on jungler combat. Red buff will help him out. Tower shot kills Freddy. It's first blood to Sunstar. Roccat, this time's gone awry. The Sand Soldiers arise and they conquer Roccat. A triple kill for Sunstar.
Big overcommit from Roccat. They're trying to go behind the tower. Some people chased Wisdom out. Some people were stuck in the middle of the fight. And Freddy was stuck between a pillar and a hard place because Smitty J got himself into the fight as well. They managed to take down the top laner to start it off. And man, that was such a good start. Peppy wants it.
Oh, he's going to find it. Emperor's Divide. Sharima sends her regards.
Oh, is this it for Giants? Is this perhaps the beginning of a good setup at this point? Look at this. Roccat want to go in. From here, they don't pick a target straight away. Tower had no aggro on them, so that actually wasn't too much of a problem. But at this point, Roccat come out of the initial dive here, and they just haven't called one focused target here. And Hustlin is able to get down a lot of autos, crack that passive multiple times. Pepinero is doing so much damage from the side, just on these Azir soldiers, not powerful enough really to chunk people down, but that's where Sunstar will take over every single time. 3-0 Lucian now is something to be feared.
It really, really is. Roccat, 2,000 gold given away by a fully coordinated, fully executed dive. And they have to play from the back foot. Luckily for Roccat, they've got good wave clear from Siva. Pretty good wave clear from Lysandra when she can get in range. So that will at least allow them to buy some time. But we've got to make sure that they're in the right lane at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, Peppy got himself down to the bottom lane fairly quickly there, actually. Considering he's no teleport as well. Did roam down. Smitty J and Freddy want to trade. Freddy...
Extended one. Subjugate's still available for Smitty, though.
Yeah, here comes...
I think he's going to use it.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. Look. Wow, Tap's coming in.
There.
There's Smitty. No, holding on. Frozen Domain comes out. Flash away. It was close. It was close.
I mean, it was like a yes or no.
Hey, I never said a time. I said he's going to use it.
Oh,
this
I
game.
see how it is. Okay.
This game.
Wow. There's a rhyme, a word that rhymes with Crepo's first name that describes what you just... It's a fast stretch, but I can't say it on podcast.
Yeah, you lost me with that one, dude. Too obscure.
Oh, it'll get tweeted.
Too obscure. Rockat's going to even out the tower trade as Sunstar takes the bottom one, Tabs takes the top. Rockat's still 2k gold down. Essence Reaver already picked up by Sunstar thanks to the triple. A number of pink wards. Now we need to see how Giants use their pink wards.
Yeah, Yeah, already had one. Crowd are happy about a pink ward going down. Does not bode well.
Mind them.
Sorry, I'm not.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep it on the down low. Crowd have been very hyped today, actually.
I'm a big fan of the chants. Yeah. Yesterday, the H2K UOL chants that were back and forth, that was like really cool to hear. And then today, Origen Fnatic, that just took it up a whole other notch.
It did. Airwax is looking to take things up a notch. Maybe.
And again, we mentioned this in Picks and Bans. He likes to play aggressive. He likes to play in the enemy jungle, steals away a camp, adds another stack to the passive.
Had the rest of his team there, though, this time. And had the numbers overlap here as well. It's not like last time they came down to this area of the map where it was even and Roccat overextended. Thing is, this is going to get traded topside. So now Roccat probably going to just swing up to the Dragon here. We'll trade it for the Rift Herald. It should be a fairly even trade between these two teams. That's what I would envision being the play. Airwax hops over.
Case.
He is in vision, though. There is a pink ward on the Dragon as well.
Small advantage for Roccat as they will get this Dragon. I assume at some point. Yep, Airwax is just taking a fair amount of damage.
He's hindered at this point. You can take it.
No worries.
As soon as you get that extra health coming back, it's surprising how low you can go and still be fine.
Right, Rift Herald was secured by Giants over in the top lane. Pretty good vision being placed inside that top quadrant, the red buff area of Roccat, and they'll be trading buffs as Airwax secures one and backs away. The potential for shenanigans in the middle lane is high, but only if Pepe sticks around. That doesn't seem to be the case.
Trevor, you can't just call shenanigans. It's, you can't just call it needlessly. At this point, but there's no shenanigans going on.
I said the potential.
Oh, wait, there's going to be shenanigans.
Listen, it was St. Paddy's Day yesterday. I heard a lot of people using the word shenanigans.
Yeah.
That was a stretch. That was
a stretch. I didn't know where you were going on that.
On the hunt, we'll send everybody towards Sunstar. Freddy's got a flash available.
He's
Flash
behind
pin against the wall.
I mean,
not the most useful of teleports.
Well, I mean, they didn't overcommit this time, which is one thing as a saving grace from Roccat at this point. But you know, they were looking for it, and that's a big TP cooldown use now. Smitty J will have his available. He's going to be able to sit out there and stop Freddy from really doing too much in this game. Roccat right now, they're kind of botching a good few engages and invades.
Oh, that's for sure. Roccat are going to have to stall for time because of how far behind they are. Oh, this is going to be trouble for Betsy. Look at this, Wisdom. He's going to find Betsy. Body slam flat, pinned against the wall. Self-cast on the tomb. A knock-up onto Wisdom, and all of a sudden, Wisdom gifts one back.
Oh, gifts one back. This game has suddenly all been about over-committing to fights here, and you'd have told me that one day Roccat would beat Vitality and the next day be struggling against Giants. I would very much so, like talking about Fedward and Pecky, called you a liar. Here goes the next fight.
All right, Empress Divide on top of the Lamb's Respite. Airwax stays alive, flashes away with his life. Smitty J and Huston come out of the tower. It's the fourth kill of the game for Sunstar. Now Noxiac's the target. Unbreakable Will is down, and after Giants looked like that was going to turn around, they managed to come away with another kill in the bag onto Betsy. It was a very good dive from Pepe and Wisdom.
It was a lot better.
Until
Pepe didn't quite get himself, get the Kindred out. So Wisdom dies very early on. This is the initial dive. So that one wasn't so great. The turnaround that comes from Giants here, though, is they chunk Airwax and know that, well, we can displace him fairly far. Didn't quite get him out of the Lamb's Respite, but Smitty J from behind was the big factor on this one. They got the damage down. Pepe swaps himself back out. From here, this game's all going to rely on Sunstar. Pretty much, if Sunstar can get as much damage as he is in these fights out time and time again, Giants should be able to carry this one home. The Azir will provide the later game damage as well, so they should be fine.
Especially with a Trundle Gragas Braum to protect him. Airwax may be punished. Nobody from Giants is going to chase them over the wall, and Airwax uses that Dance of Arrows to escape unscathed, despite playing fairly recklessly. He keeps himself up and going, stacking that sated, stacking the Devourer until it is sated.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot more sated, or Devourer at least, on Kindred. Used to be that you go Warrior into, you know, just standard items, but recently we've been seeing so much more, and obviously you can stack that up off the Rift Scuttler.
I missed.
Not so much off the assist of Rift Herald anymore.
No,
it used to be a fairly big factor.
Root in place, that's a flash forward from Hustlin. Sunstar's the target. He's sent to the base, already taken down. Teleport will be coming in from Smitty J, but it's a double kill for Roccat. They lose one in reply. Betsy's down. Airwax is trying to run away, but Smitty J is dropping the club onto Airwax for a double kill.
Drops the club. At that point, though, everything falls out as Sunstar was able to, well, dropped at the beginning of that one before Smitty J really got into this fight.
Noxiac could be in trouble. No, not going to be chased from Smitty J, and Wisdom should be able to deny.
Yeah, Wisdom's going for the execute at this point, but you could see what Roccat were trying to do in the middle lane there, trying to push out, but Pepe got himself back there to clear the waves out. Kept himself alive. Oh, Pepe, you've gone a little too far at this time.
Let's find out.
Closing.
Cleanse is available, and the divide, the slide, the glide! He makes it out.
I'm not sure why Noxiac flash committed onto that. I mean, Pepe's going to QE himself out of that every single time.
Well, if he could have got in there, unfortunately could not.
No, honestly, I feel like the distance was just too far. Like, I really don't feel like you can close that in that amount of time. I'm going to rewatch it.
See the coaches on screen chatting about the current state of the game. 3,500 advantage for Giants. Stress, as we started the game, you had talked about what this game could mean. Noxiac is in trouble as the culling takes him very low, forces the unbreakable, and the wave is cleared out there by Tabs of Sivir.
Yeah, I really am not keen on what Roccat tried to do there in the middle lane. Freddy flashed over as well. It would have been fine if Noxiac didn't have to come in vision of the minion wave before he actually made it there. Freddy and Noxiac were right at about the same timing that as long as Peppy had no idea, double flash in should have been enough to have locked him down. Problem is, Noxiac gets spotted, rumbles the play, Peppy's out before he even knew Freddy was coming and just made it all too easy for Peppy.
It looked really cool too.
That's what counts. You know what else looks cool?
Tell me.
When you take down Rift Herald right as Baron's about to spawn.
Yeah.
Sick, man.
That's teamwork. Giants are going to secure their second Herald. Roccat looking to secure their second Dragon. Very important for them if they manage to set up any sieges.
Yeah, well, I guess if that's teamwork, we just found out what Rockat's favorite dish was. Dragon. There have been 2 of them in this game so far, all going over to Roccat.
I don't know if it's on the menu at Zanzibar, but we'll have to find out. As Roccat are struggling to come back in this game. Now remember, I was getting to this point before the siege in the middle lane.
Was this before or after
If
the
Giants-
subjugate that you were talking about?
If Giants win this game and G2 win the next one,
Okay.
we will have no tiebreakers.
Is there an echo in here?
I know, but it's a 20-minute delay.
Yeah, I know, it's like 20 minutes.
Just letting you know. Just reminding you. I know you struggle with these pieces of information, Stress.
Yeah.
That's why I have it written down. Steadfast presence is down. Smitty J is turning this one around. Keeper's verdict will knock Smitty up in the air. Airwax is coming. Lamb's respite maybe needed to save Freddy's life. A flash forward. Can't get in range. The respite comes down. Freddy stays alive. Teleport's coming down for Betty and Smitty J is still standing. It took 4 members of Roccat to take him down. Hustlin dropped the Fisher, but it will not be enough to extend the fight. And Roccat, wow, they threw everything at Smitty.
But Freddy somehow managed to survive that as well. Smitty ended up dropping with so many members, but Tabs ultimately ends up taking the mid tower at the same time, so Giants committed a little bit too much maybe to keep Smithy J alive. Freddy right there kept himself right on the very small amount. If that buckler hadn't come up, I actually think he probably would have died. We'll take another look at this super extended fight. Freddy right now just I mean, there's not too much going on there. This is Roccat committing 3 people plus the TP. That's actually fairly big, I will be honest.
Interesting that Wisdom actually did not throw the explosive cask super early. Did the barrel roll first. And catch a glimpse of Pepe clearing out the Krugs, as you do. But very importantly, that kill, plus the fact that they got Sunstar a little earlier, means Roccat is closing that gold lead. They are now down only 1,000 gold at 23 minutes. But, you know, if you step back and you look at both teams, you look at the misplays around the tower dives and the decision-making when it comes to, you know, teleports, you can see why these 2 teams have struggled all split long.
You really can. I mean, the problem is, as we talked about, Giants don't have their identity, and right now for Roccat, they're running a composition that wanted to just go all-out aggressive. And that got slowed down ever since that early dive failed.
Oh, Airwax manages to dance over the wall. Still playing with his life a little bit as he goes for those invades. And Smitty J is terrifying. Trundle into Poppy. Remember, Poppy was picked into Trundle. This was a matchup that Roccat opted into and then went with standard lanes.
Oh, Betsy's got forced away. That's enough to take down the turret.
Noxiac has booted Sunstar back. Airwax is looking for a kill. Sunstar's exhaust won't take him down. Lamb's respite will give a heal, but it's Smitty J that comes out on top. Tabs goes down as Sunstar decides to re-engage. A 2-for-1. Here comes Peppy. The Emperor's Divide's already been used. They'll drop Freddy where he stands. Betsy slowed down as he takes the claw to avoid the doom. And it's a 1-for-3.
Betsy just couldn't get to the fight. Giants, maybe the the call here is Baron. They are fairly low here. Betsy's no TP, Freddy down for 35 seconds, so Azir will have good clear here. And between Wisdom and Hustlin, they should be able... don't stand all the way behind it. Don't stand behind it. There's more damage from there. They will get it and drop fairly low. Nobody from Roccat can take him out. Good call in the end.
Upset week for sure.
Well,
Giants look to upset the apple carts.
Look at Wisdom pushing back Betsy the entire time this fight was going on. And from here, Sunstar, even though he gets the focus down, there was a lot of damage came from Airwax onto him. While Sunstar was exhausted, good sidestep on the Boomerang Blade here, but Betsy still not able to get into the fight. All the time, the Azir soldiers as well are just zoning him away, and that means the Sunstar has enough room, but he hasn't got to worry about Alessandra getting into his face and shutting him down. So Giants right now are really reacting quite well to what Roccat are trying to do in this game. They're denying so many engages here with the Azir ultimate, with the Gragas, and with the Trundle.
It's just punishing decisions, basically, is the real theme of this game. When somebody's out of position, when Airwax gets chunked out in the jungle, doesn't have the support, Giants go very aggressive, set themselves up a dive, and all of that has been enabled by Smitty J just constantly pushing these side lanes, constantly drawing attention from Roccat in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, and you know, we talked about how this is perhaps the test for Giants of if they can do this against a team that you would expect is fairly similar level to their competition now in the promotion tournament. I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, well, actually, this is looking better from Giants. We haven't really seen Smitty J doing these side lane pushes all that often. It was made easier by, Roccat making mistakes, and Betsy's too far up.
For the record, Giants have got more than double the kills in this game than their 3 previous games combined. And a lot of that is thanks to Wisdom trying to make the plays. He's been punished once or twice, but at 25 minutes, the inhibitor turret is down. Keeper's verdict sends only Hustlin away. Wisdom and Smitty J are still on the front line. The inhibitor will be the target once Noxiac goes down. Giants have got a minion wave, and they've got only 2 members defending.
50 seconds of Baron is left as well with this wave. This is Nexus Towers going down.
This might just be the game. Emperor's Divide onto Airwax. Giants, in their final game of the spring split, managed to punish Roccat at every turn. And in 26 minutes, Giants defeat Roccat. It's a tough victory, right? Bittersweet.
Yeah.
Because yes, you've picked up a win, a confidence-building win against a team that is arguably closer to CS levels in Roccat.
Yeah.
And Smith J have played spoiler. They've reduced the possibility of tiebreakers to 1 game. And they guarantee that Roccat will be playing Huma in the first round of the promotion tournament.
Splice also locked that 8th spot, so they will await the winner of Copenhagen Wolves and Giants on the 2nd day of the promotion tournament. As you said, a bittersweet victory, perhaps, for the Giants. Roccat will look at that game and think, well, we had the option to maybe seal a little bit more of our fate. Look for this rematch potentially in a best of 5, depending on the Wolves-Giants result.
And can I say the Captain Obvious line for a moment?
Okay.
What Giants have also revealed in this victory is how aggressive Wisdom can be on Gragas with the body slam flashes, for better or worse, and the proficiency of Smitty J on Trundle. Now we know just how meta Trundle has become in the last 2 weeks, but the Copenhagen Wolves are going to be looking at that going, there are things to take away. There is information to be gained from this particular match.
Especially when you look at for the Copenhagen Wolves, one of their prize picks has been Poppy, that exact matchup in the top lane, so there are options available there.
It just means ban Trundle.
Yeah, it does mean ban Trundle right now. I mean, honestly, the way these games are playing out, I'm actually kind of erring on that side for the majority of the meta as it is. We've seen a drop off of Nautilus, seen a lot of Poppy and Trundle, and seen a lot of Trundle being successful there as well. So, I mean, we also can't really take anything away from Sunstar. Triple kill early, he's able to carry that through. Survived very low in some team fights, got himself through. So we saw something out of the replacements from Giants. He's taken the 4th game to do it, but the Koreans coming in are finally showing us some kind of level that we were expecting.
You have to go all the way back to the early game. That triple kill that Sunstar picked up, I mean, that was delivered on a near silver platter by Roccat. They said, here we go, have a killing spree, get yourself an Essence Reaver on us. And it was good to see Giants playing proactively. It was disappointing to see Roccat make the mistakes they did when you consider they picked up a win yesterday. So I'm interested to hear what our analyst desk has to say about that Giants victory.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And well, also thank you to Febevan for joining us here. We know it must not be easy after those 2 days, but thank you very much for joining us. How's it going now after in that game?
Yeah, it is what it is. We're just gonna try to take the most out of it, out of the games. We already learned a lot from these losses today and yesterday, and sometimes it's just good to lose because it just makes you improve. And if you just keep winning, then at one point you will lose against a better team, like an international tournament or something. And I think we are just gonna work hard for playoffs and show how good we are at that point.
All right, we will indeed see. Now, this game, of course, Giants completely running away with it. After yesterday, we didn't give them any chance. They came online.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like this Giants lineup wouldn't have a chance of actually winning a game.
I mean, he even had a special line prepared.
Yeah, no, like, honestly, I was ready to say that the current Giants lineup, with the way they've been playing the last 3 games, ignoring this one, was like one of the worst lineups we've seen in the LCS since, like, Dragonborns back in Season 3.
That's even, I mean, you were going to say it was the worst Giants lineup you've seen, and now you're going even bigger picture?
No, I mean, just overall.
Oh, okay.
Technically, I mean, yes, Giants have been struggling before, but even overall, because they lost in like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 23 minutes, and they couldn't do anything. And in this game, almost classic Roccat in a sense, when they just beat Vitality and we get some hopes for them, they throw everything away, like they dive in the bot lane on the tower, they give away triple kills, too over-aggressive, and couldn't teamfight at all.
Yeah, this also means that they're not competitive anymore in terms of the promotion tournament. I mean, they go into 9th place, and they'll be playing against Huma. Giants, of course, in 10th place. Actually, yes, and playing against the Copenhagen Wolves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, for Giants, it must be a great feeling. Like, they know they can do it versus the level of teams that they should do it against.
Yeah, but then they need to win that match, and then they still only get into that double elimination bracket. But I just want to ask, like, Roccat used to have this air about them that they would always win in scrims, but when they got to the stage, this obviously was a different Roccat lineup. Is that the same for Roccat right now, or are they just not that good in scrims either? What can't you say, maybe?
I think in scrims, we haven't scrimmed them so much lately, but usually when we scrim them, they're all good individually, like especially their mid and jungle. They always play really aggressive, and they usually get the advantage and a bit of gold lead, and then they don't manage to get it into a map lead for the whole team. And this game, it was just they made a mistake in the early game. They get triple killed by an enemy, and after that they lost tower, and then it was just pretty much over after that, because the Giants didn't actually play bad this game. They actually managed to close it out well, and yeah, they showed pretty good today.
Yeah, and that was actually the difference here today. Giants was playing the map better than Roccat, and for Roccat, that's kind of sad to see. If after a full season progression, with some roster changes, yes or no, they're still struggling to find the correct ways to kind of close out these games, play on the map. Sometimes it clicks and they snowball, and or they have these genius fights like against Vitality.
Maybe more luck than
is it
knowing
an outlier?
What to do,
yeah,
sometimes, and taking some chances with the plays.
We can't tell right now.
I mean, this Giants lineup here were not supposed to win a game because they just made these changes, pulling in the Koreans. We saw the way they were playing before, so full credit to them for winning a game. Gives them a bit more hope coming into promotion tournament as well. And with time, yeah, sure, there's more potential there with the players. It just didn't click yet at all. And credit, of course, to Smitty J, Pepe as well, Sunstar with the triple kill early.
Yeah, definitely. As a final note, if we look at, we have our team spliced. Roccat and Giants are now in the promotion tournament. Who of those teams have the best cards to make it back in the LCS, you guys think, Fabi?
It's really hard to tell for me. I really have no idea, actually.
Who would you think has the most potential from what you've seen in this split to come back strong if they get another one?
Probably Giants, because they just got 2 Koreans in their team, and Koreans are always promising, for me at least. And I think if they just keep working hard, then I think they should be at a good track.
Oh, interesting.
I feel like Giants need to change something on the back end, though, if they want to do that. Like, they've continuously had influx of talent,
or new players into it, but they don't seem to stick or work. So maybe we need to start questioning like Giants' infrastructure, structure, like an analyst, coach, whatever, if they can fix that. As for the
В
teams,
общем, как-то
from watching
довольно
Huma and
скучно
Copenhagen Wolves, I
прошла
mean, it
игра.
wouldn't be too surprising if Giants, Splice, and
Я думал, все-таки Рокеты
Roccat
как-то
all made it back
посопротивляются,
into the
но
LCS,
что-то
especially
их
with if
разнесли
Giants
вообще
win
в
their
одни
first match,
ворота.
they get 2 more chances
Особо
to make
даже
it back in there, because the
не то,
level
что
between Copenhagen Wolves
комментировать,
and Huma
смотреть,
wasn't all that high.
нечего было.
When it
И
comes
теперь,
to
в принципе,
coming back from
команды
split and
упростили
getting
турнирную
better, I do
таблицу.
agree on Giants having some
И,
good players
как
now.
мы могли
Again,
видеть,
Smitty J impressed me in the
теперь
top lane, so
так,
with more time and maybe if they manage to get a stable setup around them, I think they
сейчас
could actually get a
сообразим.
lot better. Just they need more
Копенхаген
time,
Волс,
obviously.
получается,
That's my concern for
встречается
Splice.
с
I don't really see Splice becoming a
командой
fantastic
Gems.
team with the current lineup. They do have, I feel like they in a
То
way
есть
almost
Копенхаген они
already hit
теперь
the ceiling.
из Челленджер
In a sense,
серии
and it's
у
not
нас
even that
идут.
high of a ceiling, and that's the problem
Затем
for Splice.
победитель
So I think if they
из этого
come back,
матча
they will
выходит
once again
на
just fight to probably avoid
команду
motion.
Splice,
Sure,
если
do you
не
agree?
ошибаюсь.
Yeah, I don't
Ну а
think
в нижней
Splice,
части
Splice's
таблицы
players
там
are
будут
that
Рокеты
individually.
против
Neither they are
Huma.
not working as a team that well, I think, in the
Ну,
game.
там
I
тоже,
think they just
кстати,
really
многие
lack that
игроки
individual
из
skill because
LCS,
they always get behind.
поэтому особо новых лиц мы там не увидим. Конечно же, это уже входит в такой тренд бустить официально команды челленджеров до LCS.
And even if they get the lead, they still don't manage to close out the game.
Поэтому
So it's
особо новостей
they need
мы сейчас
a
не
lot more
увидели,
time.
конечно, это
They need to work
матч
on
был
individual skills.
аутсайдеров.
Yeah, they need some like volatility. If you don't have
Поэтому
a single playmaker
ждем,
that you know, like every game, you have
конечно
like a
же,
50%
появятся
chance of
нет
this guy either
новые
doing something
команды,
crazy or going off,
ну,
then
относительно
your
новые команды в
game play just becomes
профессиональных
so
лигах.
predictable, and that's what happens to Splice
И
every
чем
time they
же
get
закончится
predicted, they try and
противостояние
move,
на
guess what, the enemy's
верхушке.
ready, suddenly they slowly fall behind,
То
and
есть
then
там мы
Yeah, well, and very interesting, but we will see
можем
everything unfold in the
наблюдать
promotion tournament
команды
starting Thursday. However, here in the LCS, there's one more regularly
Виталий
scheduled
Тим,
match to play
H2K,
out in the
Origen
2016 spring split between
и
G2 Esports and the Unicorns of Love. And as we go, we'll hear what Perks thinks of his
G2.
rookie LCS split.
This split has been pretty good for me. I think I played really good individually, and we played really good as a team, so I'm really happy with how things are going. Well, it's kind of just a dream, but from Challenger to winning ULCS is highly possible right now. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy. I think every team in top 6 can take a series out of anyone, so it's gonna be hard, but I think maybe we can do it.
Это было очень короткое интервью с Перксом, лидером команды G2. Ну, он сказал, что это прям команда мечты, что они из челленджер серии попали в профессиональную лигу и в первый же сезон находятся на первой позиции, кстати, вместе с H2K. И у них есть все шансы выиграть в первый же год сплит весенний. Поэтому посмотрим, что они смогут все-таки показать. Но я думаю, этот матч вы уже посмотрите без меня, потому что что-то времени у нас слишком много, уже 2 часа ночи практически. Матч, хотя предстоит интересный, поэтому если кто смотрит, рекомендую его досмотреть. Ну и как всегда вы можете его посмотреть на lowgesports.com. Там идет прямая трансляция. Ну а на русском языке где-то, короче, идет. Можете зайти в клиент, и там, по-моему, ссылка на русскоязычный стрим. Если кому нравится, кого устраивает, там вы можете смотреть на русском языке. Ну а я сейчас с вами прощаюсь. Когда в следующий раз у меня получится постримить, я, конечно, не могу сказать точно. Но по возможности я, конечно, постараюсь финалы сплита все-таки простримить. Поэтому всем большое спасибо за внимание. С вами был Iron Master. Пока.